So, welcome back to the contract explanation series. So, today we are going to explain the ERC20 contract, and this is the second part of the that particular series, and it will consist of explanation of one interface and one contract, which is of ERC20. So, as you are already aware of the contract with Ethereum request comment, which is ERC20, which is mainly applicable for the token creation of any particular, you can say, use cases. So let's get started. So here we have our contract ERC20.sol, and here is the contract. And first we will go through the entire contract and will explain each and every function which is available there. Then we will deploy this contract over the local host, and then we'll see that how the functions are working here. So let's get started. So the very first line here states with the SPADX license, and here we have utilized MIT as a license. Then the second thing is the Progma Solidity version, and right now like we are using any version which is greater than 0.8.17. Then as this contract gonna use interface of ERC20 token, so we have imported the interface of ERC20 token, and the ERC20 token interface is listed here. So let's see what are the functions which are available in interface as well. So the interface consists of these many functions, which is uh, the very first function is total supply, which will give us the total supply. Then the balance of, it will give us the balance of a particular account by putting the address of that particular account. Then we have a transfer function which will transfer some amount of the token to a particular recipient's address. Then we have allowance, so we will allow the owner of that particular token whether to transfer or use that particular uh, you can say coins available into his account or not. Then we have approve function. So if we have a if we wanted to approve a particular spender, we can specify how much amount we want him to utilized. So then we have transfer from function, so it will take two addresses, one the sender and then recipient. So from one address to another address we can transfer some amount of ether or any particular token. So this particular function will work as that. Then we have normal transfer and then approval function. So these are two different events, not functions. So these events will be triggered whenever some sort of functions is called. So these are the interfaces. Then let's go to the token itself, or ERC20 contract itself. So the contract start with the inheritance, and it inherits the IERC20 token from the previous contract which I just showed you. So it starts with ERC20 is IERC20, so it will inherit all the functions which are listed in interface. So it starts with total supply. We can list how much total supply we want. Then with each and every address we will transfer some sort of tokens, and we can list that which address consists of how many tokens. So the balance of mapping is available for that. Then we have allowance mapping, in which we will allow a particular address to use some sort of tokens. So the allowance mapping is available here. Then we have the name of our token. So the name of the token is right now as solidity by example. Then we want the symbol is this particular symbol, SOLBYEX. Then the decimal expression. So as you know that it consists of 18 decimal expressions in order to convert one way into gigaway. So that is listed here. Then now we wanted to call a transfer function. This transfer function will be called from interface. So this one function will be called, as it takes one address and one amount. So the same thing will be taken here, one address and one amount. So it is externally callable function, which means you can't call this particular function from this from this contract, and it will return a boolean parameter which states that whether the transfer has been taken place or not. So the very first thing which it will check whether the sender has the money or not. So it is not listed here, but it has to check whether the sender has the amount available into his balance or not. Then only he will do the transition. So if we implementing the transfer function, it will deduct some amount, whatever amount which we are listing here, from his account, and it will add that particular amount to the recipient's address. So, and then like once these things has been triggered, then we will require to trigger the event. The event will be triggered by emit keyword. So emit keyword will trigger transfer function, and it will transfer sender's money to recipient's account and whatever the number you set. Then if this function goes like in a fluent way and it is executed, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Then we have approve function. So it is also external callable function, and it will also return a boolean expression. So it will take spender's address and amount. So what we can do, whoever is calling this particular function will check whether he is a spender or not. Then once he is a spender, whatever amount we want him to allow, we can emit that particular amount by approval event. So it will approve the spender's address, a particular amount which is required him to be initiated. So once this particular function is also executed, it will also return as true. Now there is a transfer from function. It will take sender's address and recipient's address and amount. So once we have that, then it will deduct the amount from sender's address, and it will add to the recipient's address, and it will call the event like transfer event, and by calling transfer event, this particular event will happen. So once this event happens, then it will return true. Then we have mint. Mint function is allow us to add some amount of tokens to someone's wallet. So let us say that, and it will only take amount as a parameter, and it is also uh, it has to had one modifier as it has to be called by only, you can say, owner of the contract. So owner of the contract can also can only call the mint and burn function. So it will take balance of the senders and add the amount which he want to mint, and it will also add that particular amount to the total supply, since the total supply has been increased, and it will emit the transfer event, in which it will take zeroth address is the actual address. Then it will send the amount to the sender's address, and this is the amount which will be listed. Then we have burn function. Let us say that if you wanted to like um, dump some of the tokens, then you can call the burn function, and it will take one amount parameter, and it will deduct that amount from his balance and total balance, and it will call the transfer event, and whatever the amount which has been called, it will be transferring all those amount to a zeroth address. Zeroth address is nothing but like some null and void address which is not existing. So as this address is not existing, so some whatever the amount which is deducted from burn, it will be going to that, and you can't call back that particular amount from there. So this is how the burn function works. So let's do deploy of this particular contract. So let's delete here. Right now we don't have anything. Let us say select one fresh account and let's deploy this function. So the amount has been deducted, which means the contract has been deployed. So let us say that what are the parameters which we got. So since these functions are externally callable, which we can't call them, so we can call total supply. As we have not listed anything, so the total supply will become 0. So next thing is symbol, which we have listed the symbol. So this was the symbol, then name, then decimal, then if we had, if like some sort of account has been added to this particular contract, then we can judge their balance. Otherwise, like, it can't, then we can allow a particular address, then transfer from, like, all those functions are already listed there. You can check these functions one by one. So this is it for this particular video. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.